All right, welcome. Another episode of Have a Go of Vlaciky. Got Troy Savage, badass Sav. So, met Sav like a few years ago now, for Justo, I think it was, the scope.
But I think we might have played against each other
Before
a lot.
that, before then.
Yep.
Were you at the Roosters then?
Roosters 20s,
Yeah.
Jersey flag.
Yeah, that's
Who are
right.
you, Newy?
No, I was at the Riff then.
The Riff first, yep.
Panthers. So, Mr. PT extraordinaire now.
Trying to be.
Online mobility. So, give us a bit of a background, Sav.
Yep, so sort of grew up in New Zealand.
Cuzzy.
Yep, as a cuzzy. Had a love for rugby, obviously. Big game over there. And then sort of played that through from when I was a little kid all the way up to 18 years old, like last year high school, and then got an opportunity to come across to Sydney to play for the Roosters under 20s Jersey flag, and then took that opportunity. I've been here ever since, and that sort of led me on the path of trying to crack it in the NRL. That sort of went on for that was about a 10-year journey. Unfortunately, didn't get a game, but that was the dream at the time.
Join the club, bro.
Yeah, so done all that. I think in 2012 I was at Parramatta, and then I finished up then, and then done 2 years over in France. After that,
I forgot you over there, eh?
Yeah.
Whereabouts were you living there?
in Carcassonne, so south of France. Yeah, good little spot. Done 2 seasons there just to finish off, do a bit of travelling as well. Good times. And then, finished up footy and just needed something to do. And I always sort of liked the gym environment and thought coaching might be a good avenue to go through. And then where we are there. So, obviously through there, and now sort of a coach at the moment at a gym at Maryland. So, that's sort of the gist of it.
So, like you mentioned, obviously your playing career, you had a few injuries. That sort of led you into where you are now. Like, why do you think, with those injuries, why do you think that has led you to this path? Was it like through frustration, or what was it for?
Yeah, so with the injuries and that, after my sort of career of footy, I just had that little, itch of why I didn't make it, what would make me have been a better footy player. So that's sort of why I went down that coaching route, and I had a few injuries, and I had a broken leg one stage, a lot of ankles, hammies, groins, and I thought that sort of held me back a little, and I just wanted to figure out what I could have done better to, have a better opportunity at making the NRL.
So what was the first thing you went into? Like, obviously, right now your online program, you do your PT, some classes. Loves the classes, by the way. Sign up, Maryland. So what path did you go through after footy to try and go through your research? So where'd you go to get educated about what you could have done better and how you can help people?
Yeah, so after footy, I had a bit of a bad back. I'd wake up every day pretty much with a bit of back pain, and it was just like, I felt like I was 65 years old, and I was probably 25 at the time. I just needed a better fix for it.
On the Voltaren diet?
Yeah, the Voltaren fix there, that wasn't going well with me, and I was still feeling pain. It was just nothing major, but it would just ruin your day sort of thing.
Heaps of people have that, eh? Like,
Yeah.
heaps. I reckon everyone's like, oh, I got a bad back. It's probably just there being tightness through there.
Yeah, tightness. So that's sort of how I got into sort of the mobility. I went through an American guy first, Kelly Starrett. I think I was sort of researching into him, and then I sort of came across like Real Movement and that. With Keegan, and he had a bit of a background with the Roosters and whatnot. So I took a good liking to sort of his style, and at that time he was sort of the only one doing like a holistic form of training. And I was like, man, if I had some of this back in my footy day, maybe I could have, got that one NRL game.
So you mentioned there Keegan Smith, the Real Movement project. What's that entail? Like, what'd you pick up there?
The Real Movement's like a coaches community, strength and conditioning coaches, just looking to up their knowledge and that. So, definitely picked up all of my mobility stuff. They do a bit of other stuff like handstands and whatnot, but it's just sort of looking outside of the box than what's currently being taught. And I felt, you sort of pick and choose and sort of develop your own style as you go along. And me sort of having that footy background, I sort of found the things that they were teaching like adaptable to what like myself first. So I went through all the training and whatnot, got real mobile, different strength and conditioning styles of training, and then sort of applying them now to sort of the boys today.
Did you, like you said, it was like a different approach back then? Did you cop a bit of flack when you were doing the training? Like, what's this guy doing? Trying to kiss his knees.
It wasn't too bad.
Because it goes against, like, if no one knows what it is, look it up. But it goes against the norm, what you've been taught so many years. Like, especially if you're in a sporting environment and that, like knees not going over your toes, or you can't do weights in this certain position, or like it's like in some vulnerable positions, but you sort of got to earn the right in that position to build strength.
Yeah, 100%. So it sort of goes against, I don't know, I feel some of the strength and conditioning things are a bit trying to play on the safe side, whereas these sort of tested the boundaries, and I sort of could see the benefits of putting your knees past your toes and going against some of the things that are out there. So like from when I first went to the Roosters, I think we had Ronnie Palmer back in the days doing some of those sessions, and we were very like, nothing against Ronnie Palmer, he's a great dude, but we were doing like a lot more like bodybuilding type trainings, and then just real like we'd do 50, 100 meter sprints for some of our sessions, getting flogged that way. Whereas sort of today, I think it's real science-based. They probably didn't have the information back then that they do these days. So I think it's like an ever-evolving sort of type of training. And it's sort of the last 5 years, I think everyone's starting to catch on with everything.
Yeah, a lot of the teams, like sporting teams, are doing a lot of that stuff now, eh? Was that like in Australia? It's probably Keegan Smith that he was the catalyst for that. You reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think just like with social media in general and the internet, with like the ease of being able to spread information as well, and find like back in the days there was no Facebook and that when we were around under 20s. No Instagram, we had a MySpace or something back in the days. That's how old we are. And then, I think just YouTube's like blown up, and all the content that people put out these days, everyone picks up and they can use it a lot better. And I think some of the best coaches started up seminars, and other coaches can go there and learn their style. Whereas
podcasts.
Podcasts, good content going out. So all that stuff, I think it's just evolved strength and conditioning and footy players and all that, tenfold.
Have you always been real health conscious? Like, I remember meeting you in the cross back in the day a few times.
I didn't go there.
But have you always been real health conscious about your body, trying to improve it? Like, was that after footy when the light bulb sort of hit?
Yeah, well, I sort of thought I was during my footy career. I thought I was healthy, but then compared to what I am now, I wasn't even close. Didn't have any dietary, I don't know. I remember going to the supermarket, having one trolley of just chips, fizzy drinks, and then the other one just full of meals and that. My diet was horrible. Didn't do any stretching, not even weights. I wouldn't do weights because I was scared of having heavy legs for the conditioning sessions that we used to do. They were brutal.
Everyone used to do that.
I'm not doing leg weights, because then if you look shit on the field, you're gonna get dropped. So I just do my little barbell squats, just get through I was a big bench presser. So I never touched legs at all. So, and then I've sort of noticed that would have affected me tenfold.
Your education on your diet now. I'm seeing you posts about the Carnival Diet.
Yeah.
You still doing that?
Yeah, I'm sort of about 80-20 with that.
What are the benefits? With the Carnival Diet, it's basically all meat. That's all you eat, eh?
Yeah, all meat. So it's just, cut out no veggies, no anything like that, just straight red meat. You can do chicken and whatnot, but I find it's better red meat. It's a bit more satiating. I just like the experiment, because they always say you need this and that and this, and I don't know. Nothing surprises me in the world these days with all the COVID stuff that's happened. You know what I mean? I don't believe anything at the moment. Anything can happen, and anything could, I don't know. Some information could pop up the next day, and it wouldn't surprise me how the way 2020 is going. So with the Carnival Diet, it's pretty much just red meat. I feel like my energy levels go through the roof, and it works for me right at the moment, because I just feel real busy with coaching and whatnot, and just allows me to get a lot done.
So your energy levels go through the roof. What else do you notice from it? Is there any other benefits you found?
Hunger goes away for me.
Is it because you eat a lot of fat with it as well?
Yeah, a lot of fat, a lot of red meat, you know what I mean? High protein diet. I feel like when I have carbs and that, like I'm not anti-carbs or anything, but it just works for me. I got no dietary advice here. Disclaimer, don't follow anything I do. Yeah, do your own research. But I just feel it works for me. It's good. It's good.
Because who was the big catalyst for that? Was it Jordan Peter? Is it Jordan?
I think he was one
Him
of them.
and his daughter got like an immune disease?
Yeah, I think.
Or was it someone else?
I think, both of them do. I think his daughter was the main one, and I think because it's an elimination diet, right? With some of those autoimmune, anything can spark up their conditions. So when you take everything out and you start with just red meat, then, you can go from there and add things, and then you can find, being an elimination diet of just specifically one food, that's sort of how it works. Yeah.
What other, like in terms of nutrition, what other stuff have you tried that you reckon is really good?
I think mainly people just need to cut out all the crap. Like that's the main thing. Like eat your veggies, eat your meats. I feel like even with the footy athletes, as long as they're eating like good foods and it's like not full of Maccas and
It's a bit of a
KFC,
balance. Eh?
yeah, just a balance. You don't have to go too extreme like I do, or like go straight carnivore. You can try it if you want. But I feel it's like just doing the basics really, really well with diets, like your veggies, your meals, not just doing chips. But back in the day, I don't know that was like a thing. I felt like I was training so hard that it just wouldn't affect me.
Yeah, we're talking about, me and Ciro were talking about it, like what we used to eat before we'd play a game. Like the night before, load up on carbs, used to eat pasta.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, he used to eat like a tub of ice cream because it was full of sugar.
Yeah.
And like milk, protein, and like just smashing absolutely anything and anything. And then I remember a couple of boys that came over. They were playing at the Sharks back in the day, and their trainer told them, I don't know who the trainer was, but they wanted to put on weight. He goes, just eat anything. Go to Macca's every day, pizza, just like chow down.
Yeah, like a dirty bulk.
Yeah, dirty bulk. That's right.
Yeah, I felt like I could never get my game day right. I would try everything like food-wise and routine-wise, and I could never I I always felt tired. I think even dealing with nerves, I wasn't good back in the day. Like I used to hate game day until I played, because I was that nervous that I felt like I nearly burnt myself out thinking about the game and not being able to deal with all those things as well. I used to do like spaghetti on toast, I think, like 4 with a whole can of spaghetti on toast. Big pasta meal the night before too. That was just what we sort of got
It's just the
told.
bread and butter you were told, eh? What about now? Because you do athletes at the moment, predominantly footy players. What do you give them any advice on their nutrition and what they should be eating?
They're all pretty good at the moment. I've got a few boys trying out carnivore just because they're interested in it and they're going to do it anyway. So I just give them a little bit of advice. I tell them to do 4 weeks worth, and then see how they feel. Stick with the red meats to start, but pretty much the guys that are training, I know they're doing so much training that they can just stick to like a whole foods diet, which is sort of my main sort of thing that I get them to do, like cut out all the crap, like pretty simple.
So like going back to your online stuff, who's like your mentor, your go-to that I guess helps you progress and move your online program forward? Is there any guys out there that bit of a mention?
So start with like Keegan, he was good. Then Ben Patrick, the knees over toes guy, he's a big guy in America.
So explain him. He's the one that's good, sort of gone against everything what we've been taught in terms of squatting and leg weights.
Yeah, so he does like we've always sort of been told not to put our knees past our toes because it's going to wreck our knees. He said, put them past the toes so it actually strengthens the knees, which sort of goes against, what's out there. And he's got a whole system that's fixing knee pain out there, and I've sort of been in communication with him and sort of learnt that system that he uses. And his clientele is predominantly basketball players, a few NBA players, NFL also. And I think last Christmas, probably a year ago now, I picked up on that system because Keegan put it through sort of the Real Movement community. And he's onto something here. I didn't figure it out straight away. It took me about another 6 months when I seen Keegan doing some stuff with Sonny Bill. I went up there for 2 days and then done a little training camp because before Sonny Bill went to Toronto, he'd done like a 4-week camp with Keegan, fix up his body. He had sore knees and that, and I could hear the feedback coming back from him that his knee pain was starting to relieve. And I went, man, there's something here. And I went, yeah, I got to drop all the stuff that I know about squatting heavy and whatnot and go all in on the system. And from Christmas last year, 2019, I've just been doing knees over toes stuff with my athletes and sort of just 100% all in with that. So and it's been working real well.
So also another, you mentioned Sonny Bill. I was seeing you do a post about him not long ago. What was the thing you picked up from him? Yeah,
just as like how professional he is. He's just got that instinct, like that champion mindset of. I think the story I talked about was he had to do an interview and halfway through one of our training sessions, and then we had lunch, and then he could have easily went to go have lunch, but he came across and asked what we had been doing, and we've been doing chins and dips, and he was like, oh, what are you guys doing? How much? Because we had a bit of a competition to see who could do the most, and then he came across when it was pretty much lunchtime, and he was like, man, I need to finish this workout off. And then he ended up, beating us by whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's sort of, that's always just stuck with me of how his mind sort of thinks and how much sort of work ethic he does, and sort of realise why he's so good at what he does.
He's going all right now too, eh? That second game
good system to go in, good, great team for him to go into with, Carey and Tedesco, they're on fire at the moment. So, you know what I mean? Happy days for him.
With the knees over toes stuff, I see you do a lot of strength through range.
Yep.
And I actually had Brandon Hassick. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Brando. He's been on the potty before, and he's really big into that as well.
Yep.
And I've applied some of those training techniques just myself, just trying some stuff like the bar behind the head, the overhead press, and just doing some of the knees over toes.
Yep.
I've got a bit of a dodgy shoulder, and it's actually helped that out.
Yep.
I feel like my knees feel pretty strong. Do you apply a lot of that strength through range stuff as well?
Yeah, 100%. So I do it with all the footy boys. I feel that if each joint sort of in the body has the proper range and the proper strength, then it's difficult for pain to be there, if that makes sense. So your shoulders should be moving full range of motion and also be able to handle a bit of weight. With athletes, they sort of need to up their game a little bit more because they come under so much forces in whatever sport they play. But for general population, you can get to a pretty good level of strength relatively quickly as well. So that's all I do on the basis of sort of my trainings and my athletes, clients or whatever. Just make sure every joint is in a good range of motion and has a good level of strength. And then I feel that fixes 99% of the problems.
Do you think a lot of it's an ego thing with people as well? I can do more weight if I just stop halfway. The old bench press, a little...
Yeah, 100%.
So
it's all ego.
It is a big ego thing, eh?
Yeah, because you have to drop the weights if you're going to do full range of motion training, because the whole thing of it is everyone's strong, say in their bench press at that top half, but when they go all the way down, that's when, they're getting a bit weaker. If you sort of notice the pec tears and whatnot that happen in footy these days, they're out for 6 months if that happens. They're strong in that short range of motion, but anything outside of that range, the body's going to, get injured. So it's good to do that full range of motion.
That's right. So next time you're in the gym, when your coach tells you to go all the way down, go all the way down.
No cheat reps.
Yeah, it is that's what I find. It's an ego thing. Even when I started doing fucking hell, I'm really struggling here. But like you said, it comes pretty quick. Once you feel a bit more comfortable in it. And I think a lot of people, because they get a bit of pain when they go there, but it's generally just because they've never been in that position or it's a bit tight.
Yeah, exactly.
They just got to push through it. So listen to your coaches out there. I'm going to cop a roasting off everyone now. So obviously that's your passion and you love training, you love helping athletes, footy players and that. How do you apply that in a business sense? We were talking before this. like sort of your business goals and what you want to do. Did you find that an easy transition, like trying to set it up? All right, how am I going to scale this to turn it into a business? Because a lot of athletes or footy players, like say most of like our mates are footy players, just think, all right, I'm going to become a PT because I've trained all my life.
Yeah.
But like, what's your experience with trying to turn it into a business?
Yeah, it's real tough with all that stuff. Yeah, we're talking before about sales and that. I hate sales. Trying to charge people like money, like that's the worst. Like especially PT and that. Like I'm still horrible now, but I'm better than I like ever was. Like some of the boys ask you for training. I was even talking to Ben Roberts on the way here about all that stuff, and he's sort of going down the same route as me with all his PT stuff. And yeah, I was saying, bro, I still suck. You're asking the wrong person. Like,
what do you find difficult about the sales? Just asking for the money.
Yeah, I find that the toughest, but yeah, way better than I was. Yeah, I found that really, just because I'm so introverted and shy that like I'm working on it and doing podcasts and that to improve my communication and all that. And I know that's that will help and helping other people as well if I can get my message across better. I find, yeah, that will I don't know, give me more money in my pocket and help the other people on the other side too. So, yeah, business and just getting all those systems, you know, it's not as easy as just doing one or two things. You need to have the right systems in place, the follow-ups. Yeah, you sort of don't realise how much work it actually is until you sort of start doing it.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like you know too.
Yeah, it was hard. Like I found that hard as well at first. It's like, I remember the first time I was a PT was at Fitness First. So they just like went and did the training Fitness First and like, boom, here you go, here's leads. I'm like, fuck, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, how do you systemize everything? You know, they're like, just go and talk to people on the floor. And I was just like, not really shy, but I was like, I couldn't bring myself to go up and just say, hey, how you going? You want a bit of PT? But yeah, I think like what you said, the systems is the biggest thing. Like, all you got to do is find what system works, steal it, and apply it.
Yeah, 100%. Like
Steal
the framework helps you just be able to do all the other.
You just tweak it and apply it to what works for your business. So yeah, systems is definitely the biggest thing for myself as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
And then like with the money thing, it was like heaps of people. I don't know, it's weird. Like in our industry, people always want a discount, but I'm like, when you buy petrol, do you ask for a discount? Or when you go to Woolies, do you ask for a discount?
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you asking your coaches for discounts? It's like, oh, can I get it at this price? But I'm like, but why?
Yeah, exactly.
What's any different? I don't know, it's just a bit of a weird perception with our industry. It's like, all right, I'm just going to bargain them all the time.
Yeah.
But I think people don't understand that. I guess it's that analogy when times get tough, like people will go, all right, what can I cut out first? It's always their gym.
Yeah,
and it's
100%.
like it shouldn't be. And I think that's why when it comes to sales or whatever in our industry, people have got that mindset.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I'll just get rid of the gym first or we can get a bargain here. But I think it was maybe Ice put up a post about, you know, money, asking for money.
Yeah.
It's just like, actually Grant Cardone, that's where it was from. And Ice had something similar about it, and it was, right, all it is a piece of paper. Like, you got something they want and they need help with it, they just give it to you. And I found like when you look at it like that, all it is just an exchange or something.
Yeah.
You know, take out that. I know a lot of people have anxiety when it comes down to money. It's just your relationship with it. All it does is get passed around, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've sort of developed a better relationship with like money as well, and sort of that sales process. So, it's a valuable asset to be able to like just provide value, and I think it's works better for that client too, that you sort of charge them the right rates, and if they want a discount, then how are they really going to train with you anyway? You know what I mean? Are they going to value it as much? So just all those little things that, you know, you come across and have to deal with. But when you first start out, you're like shit scared.
Yeah, that's right. It's just like, we stuffed up when we started. We're like, oh, we'll just sort of beat everyone's price or sit around the same thing. But we didn't really, I've talked about it before, I think, maybe not on the podcast, but me and Luke, we were sitting down like, fuck, all right, well, how do we price point? We had no idea what we were doing. It was just like, all right, well, this seems about right, and it's like it bit us in the arse. I've corrected it now, but now we don't worry about anyone else. We'll just go, all right, well, this is our value. This is what works in terms of our cost structure, price structure, and I think it's about being comfortable with knowing what your service is as well.
Yeah.
Like some people will just go, all right, I'm gonna charge you $100, but deliver. They only deliver $30 worth of service.
Exactly.
It's better to sort of like over deliver.
Yep.
Than under.
Especially when you first start out.
Yeah.
I think there's a thing in the fitness industry where everyone's trying to just up their prices, and I think when new PTs come in, they sort of expect to, I don't know if they've been told through whatever from their friends or whatever certs they go through that, there's massive amount of money for and it's easy. I don't think that's the right sort of message with all the PTs coming through. What I mean? It's a hard slog. I think everyone's sort of got to start out pretty tough, or I don't know. I feel there's a bit of, I don't know. I think people can be a bit better, in that sense, that are sort of telling these PTs or giving them the proper advice.
It's just easy entry as well, our industry.
Yeah.
Like anyone can get a certificate, and then ever since I always say this, I probably mentioned it heaps of times on this, but Biggest Loser started, everyone wanted to be like a celebrity trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How much do you want to earn a week? Oh, about 1,500. Like, yeah, so do we.
Yeah, exactly. It's not easy.
$100 for half an hour sessions.
Yeah, it's not easy. I don't think people realise that you actually become a business when you're a PT. You're pretty much...
That's all it is, isn't it?
You're a business. You're not a worker anymore.
Yeah.
And you got to have a few of the ducks lined up properly, or you're going to burn out pretty quick.
Feel the ducks lined up. I like that one. Always someone drops a good analogy on here all the time. So with you got online course, you do one-on-ones, you do some class stuff as well. What are you going to predominantly focus on moving forward?
So the PT stuff and I still like doing the classes. I built a sort of good community where I am. So just continuing with what I'm doing, but just on a hopefully bigger scale and just better results, and just build the online, because I feel that's the easiest thing to scale. Compared to PT, you're sort of limited. I've had some good results so far with a mobility program that I'm running, and it sort of works better online, if that sort of makes sense, because I need these guys to do their mobility each day. The consistency of the training is really what helps with mobility and stuff. So
with the mobility stuff online, how long does that take? It's all body weight.
Yep. So usually the sessions that I sort of program are pretty easily manageable, so 10 to 15 minutes a day, so I can easily work in with whatever sport or weight training you do. You can do it before and after, and it sort of works on a progression model where you start at, say, step 1, and then you progress to step 2, step 3, step 4, and I find that sort of works the best.
So you were talking about this before, all you did was use your phone to set all this up too, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you don't need any fancy fucking websites or all these designers. You just went, boom, phone, here's my program, and then this is how you do it.
Yeah, because when COVID hit, I was just doing classes and PT, and then all of a sudden the next day I had no income, so I had to just rally and do something. And I sort of was always dabbling in online stuff, but I could never pull it off. It's a real hard slog. And then sort of when COVID hit, I think people were a bit more open to the idea, because all the gyms had shut, so it gave me a little bit of momentum. But I had to do all the videos for the exercises, and I just used my iPhone, uploaded to YouTube, and I think I started off with just a PDF. I didn't even have an app that I currently do to send out the programs, and I just went from there, and it's sort of grown as sort of the months have gone on. That's
just the quality of your program, and it just shows that you don't need all this fancy stuff to get started, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Just, pay what they get for. They get what they pay for, and it's just something simple for your phone set up. So with that program, and now, have you ever, you do one-on-one stuff with athletes, have you ever thought about going into a sporting organisation and doing it through there? I know you've done stuff with the Maori team.
Yeah, I've done little spurts. I feel it's good to be independent from those organisations, because I feel if I went in, I'd have to change what I'd be doing to fit in with their sort of program. But now I can sort of work independently, and the athletes can come in with the right mindset. There's nothing worse than having a big training session and then you got 10 minutes of mobility with the boys like after gym. They don't want to do it. That's why they're in bad condition. Like, I get the guys that actually want it, if that makes sense, and I feel that puts me in a better position than if organisation, say like an NRL club, hired me to go in and take care of their mobility. There's going to be 10 that want to do it, 20 that are so-so, and then another 10 that just hate me. So it's better if they come to me and then I give them the program, and I feel that works best. Yeah.
How many athletes you got at the moment?
Just footy players.
Just any? All athletes across all sports?
I've probably got about 10 to 20 that play like either NRL. There's a lot that I just help out. They just message me on Insta and that, and that's quite humbling when NRL players get injured and they ring you up and they're like, bro, what can I do? And I go, oh, nothing for the moment, but like as you get better, do all your physio stuff and then we can work on a little bit. And I just throw them little videos that this is what I'd do in that situation. I can't work with them, any of them, because they're in that bubble at the moment, but I think this off season will be quite big for me and trying to work with some of those NRL players.
So like in terms of, like you said, your online program and that you were talking about before, would you ever look at getting your own space and having like, this is just purely for athletes, like a top-notch spot for them?
Yeah, that was sort of the dream a couple of years ago, but I like sort of the flexibility of being purely online. I think if I ever did open my space, it would be like that Knees Over Toes guy does a good version where he doesn't charge his clients in person. He just does his online thing, and then anything that, say, you came into the gym was just to build content, or like all the pros would just come in and you just do sessions and whatnot and work with them, and your main source of income would be your online stuff. I feel that works. It's a bit of a different model that what's out there, but I think that could probably work, and sort of something that I'm sort of going to take a liking to as well, where hopefully you'd have enough of a sort of following so the athletes come to you and you just train them. No, it's real easy. You put them on your online stuff. I haven't figured out the exacts of that, but hopefully when all these travel bans, I can go over to LA and see Knees Over Toes guy and see how he runs it.
And what else are you going to be doing over there? Straight to Vegas?
No Vegas these days. I'm an old guy now. Maybe back in my 20s days, but I got no plans to.
So, did you ever go out for a drink and that anymore? You're pretty quiet these days?
I'm very quiet. Got the family now, so Mrs. and son. They keep me busy, and I've sort of. The person I was when I was coming through the grades is a lot different than I am now. So I don't value. I don't value some of the things that I used to back then, and going to the cross and all those good times. They were
cross,
good.
It's not open no more.
Yeah, this generations are missing out for sure.
Good days.
We used to do our times there, walk out the nightclub, and it's fucking daylight. Try to get into nightclubs and get denied. I don't know.
Maybe you, not me, mate. Not me. So with I noticed you posted some stuff about athletes getting injured now. Do you feel there's a lot of, like, especially some of those hamstrings? I've seen you post about, I think there was maybe a shoulder one in there.
Yep.
Do you think there's a lot of ways they could have been prevented with this type of training?
Yeah, I think this season.
Or giving them a chance, maybe not as bad of an injury? Yeah,
I think this season's a funny one because the whole COVID situation, and they didn't get a proper off-season, or pre-season, and I think that might have played a part with the 6 again rule, that the work rates have gone up as well. So that extra workload and not as good preparations probably causing all those as well. So there are probably some things that I think they probably could have done, like calf training and a bit of hamstring work that I've sort of been putting through that I had a few ideas with, but I could be totally wrong. But
you said calf training,
no one trains their calves, but like.
I used to hate the calf training. like just with my mates and that, they'd get on there, they just want big calves at the gym and stuff. And then we started doing some of them in here, and I'm just like, fuck, I hate doing them. I don't know
Everyone
why.
hates calves. Like,
Just like I hate, even when I used to see people do it, I'm like, why are you doing your calves? But after that knees over toes guy, because I did a bit of research on him as well.
yeah,
He does heaps of stuff, hey?
yeah.
Just like in terms of the benefits it has for you, not just aesthetically, like, oh, look at that guy's calves.
yeah,
But yeah, I was like, so I seen one he does with his foot over the bench, hey? Puts
Yep.
like a weight, 12%
Yeah,
of your body weight.
Yep.
That's what you should be able to do 20 times.
Yep.
So you
Yeah,
do-
that's the tibialis, so that muscle that runs down the front of the shin. So,
Because
yeah.
do you get a lot of shin pain because you got weak calves as well? Is that? Because I'm like, how does that?
There's a little bit there. Depends what, like, how weak your calves are and all
Yeah.
that. But it's good to have. I don't know. He sort of explains it.
Yeah, how's he explain that? Because I'm like, I thought that'd be more an impact thing. Or
Yeah. So if the impact, if you got weak calves and tibialis, obviously the pain's just gonna go. The force is gonna go straight into that knee. Think of your calf and your tib as like a shock absorber. So instead of say when each time your foot hits the ground, then that force is just going straight into this knee. So he's big on that knee pain sort of thing. So if you strengthen the muscles around it, they're going to act as like a shock absorber to your knees. So you'll have healthier knees if you strengthen the muscles around it.
and sweet looking calves.
Yeah, I smash the boys on calves. So we do standing calf raises and seated calf raises pretty much.
Was that one up
nearly
against the
ever.
wall? And
Yeah, the tib.
toes?
There's the tib raises. So
Yeah.
we do those every session and just.
Oh, they fucking burn, man.
yeah, they're burners.
Yeah.
Like, that's
You
funny.
wouldn't think, like,
I've had
what-
shin splints before, and I just didn't know how to fix them. Like,
And that helps with them.
yeah, 100%. You do those, it should go away pretty quickly.
I did them the other day, and I was like, fuck me, these actually, they came.
Everyone says
But
that.
if I walked into a gym and seen someone doing that, like,
Yeah,
what the
weirdo.
fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, that's like some of the training. Like it's a bit out. It's not out there, but I find the athletes sort of understand those types of exercises like a bit better when you put them through it. Yeah, so I feel they're more in tune with their body, whereas the general population probably wouldn't be like, oh, I don't really need this.
Yeah, you
I
go
don't need
into the
calves
gym.
and tips, like,
You know those Instagram pages where they're like filming people doing weird shit at the gym?
Yeah.
I feel like you'd end up on that. 'Cause so
Just
many
see the
people
shit
just
I do
go,
in the gym. People look at me.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put my head on my toe at the moment, like, and I got to really force it down, and fuck, it looks stupid, like. But
do you do your stretching routine mobility every single day as well?
yeah, I'm
Still do it?
I've sort of got I got my own sort of online coach. He's like a handstand movement guy, and then I learn a lot from him. So I do mobility and handstands every day. I haven't touched a weight in 4 weeks actually. I've sort of done just away
Can
with
tell
it
as
for
well.
now. But I do a lot of like pull work, and all the handstand stuff's tough as, so that sort of keeps me in shape.
So what's next, Sav, coming up? Like you mentioned, the off season. What's the plans for your business moving forward? Like short term.
At the moment, sort of going to set up a little off-season program with the footy boys. So in the works with that, and since a few NRL boys will be out of the bubble, can work with them now. And there, yeah, just onwards and upwards with the mobility stuff, just refining the videos and a bit more professionalism to all that stuff, and just trying to help more people and get bigger myself.
See, I've seen like in terms of athletes, like there's no real place there, is there, in Australia that's specific for like athletes? You know, they got like over like especially like rugby players, rugby league and that. Like over in the States, they got a couple heaps of facilities.
Yeah.
But I've seen Dan Conn. He's starting something up. Have you seen that?
No,
I forget
I
the name of it.
I haven't seen what he's doing
I don't know if
recently.
it's his, but he's sort of, I've seen him post it. He's like the face of it. I'm not sure if it's his or not, but it looks like it's specifically targeted around NFL players, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Like to
Over there?
No, here in Australia.
Oh, really?
It looks like that. Like, you know, they got those little, before they go to the combine, the NFL
Yeah,
players
yeah.
go to, like, this is specifically for NFL players.
Yeah.
It looks something like that. Had like a gridiron, like, set up and...
Or like the turf and
Yeah.
big
I
turf.
should have found out before I mentioned it, but yeah, I don't know. Like, do you feel like we're sort of missing that here in Australia?
Yeah, 100%. I
That's-
think people have sort of tried to start it. I know
Yeah.
there's like Coach Woodford down in Melbourne, and then there's, I think it's called Athletes Authority over in, I think he was the ex-Parramatta. they sort of down that athlete route.
Well,
But it's nothing like no mainstream stuff. I think there's a lot of I think we're going to follow American sports and what they do eventually. Like all their NBA players have a personal trainer themselves, like LeBron James and that. They spend, I think footy will head towards that way eventually.
what's your advice for an athlete that wants to fix their body? Like what's the starting block you'd tell them? Let's say they're in pain all the time, they're picking up injuries. What would your advice be to them?
That's a toughie.
But what's the basic you'd do? How would you say they come to you?
Yep.
How would you walk them through it?
Yeah, I usually put them through an assessment. Can you touch your toes? If you can't touch your toes and you got a sore back, start there. Then I do a little pancake stretch sort of thing to see how bad they are. Usually shows problems with the groins or how tight they are. Shoulders overhead. Can you lift your shoulders over your head? And then you sort of just work it out from there. Hip flexors as well is a good one for lower back pain. So just starting real basically and just increasing the range of movement through that area where they're probably getting a bit of pain, and then strengthening also. So knees, ankles, shoulders and whatnot. Just all those jointy areas are usually the problem areas for everyone.
So you reckon the basic for any athlete or someone that wants to become an athlete, they should start with their mobility, first and foremost?
Yeah, you need movement through that joint. If that joint is not moving properly, say at the hip you can't bend properly, then you're going to bend somewhere else, which is usually the lower back. So that's how sort of back pain happens. So you want to get that wherever that area is that's hurting strong and mobile so it works properly.
All right, Sav. It's a wrap, brother. Easy work.
Good. That's good.
Easy work. You want to say anything to your listeners, mate?
No. Just happy to be here. It's good. Grateful. Good. That someone wants to listen to me.
That's good, man. If anyone wants to hit up Sav, just jump on his Instagram. I'll chuck a little link in the show notes. The show notes. Sounds so professional. But yeah, man, it's good to see you. It's been a while, actually.
Yeah, 100%. It's good to catch up, bro.
We'll go for a beer now. I was just joking.
Coffee.
Yeah, but thanks for coming down, man. Really appreciate it. And if anyone wants to hit him up, you don't have to be a superstar athlete. If you're just looking to get better at your sport and everything, jump on and hit him
DM
up.
me on Insta.
Slide in, baby.
Yeah, slide into the DMs. I'm very I reply to everyone and trying to answer and do the right thing through all that as well. So happy to help.
Sweet as, Sav. Cheers, brother.
Sweet, bro.